It's Kevin Labates here, and today I want to talk about the digital euro, and in particular a feature of the digital euro that has been advertised by the European Central Bank, which is that it will be capable of handling offline payments. Now, that's quite a bold claim to make. If you look at cash, one of the advantages of cash is that you can transact with euros if you have banknotes and coins without needing a connection to the internet. Now, to those of you who are Generation X or older, this is not going to seem at all surprising. It's the way that life was for us when we were younger. However, if you're of a later generation, a lot of your payments will have taken place online, and you may not have thought about the fact that one of the fantastic features of money, of cash, is that it works without you needing a phone and an internet connection. And that's kind of an important property of money, and it's one that is provided to us through the nature of the universe. When you mint coins and print banknotes, they have a singular physical existence. A €5 note that I'm holding in my hand cannot at the same time be in someone else's wallet, and that means that it's not possible to double spend cash. This is the problem that Satoshi Nakamoto was trying to solve with Bitcoin. How can you have a digital currency, in this case online, I have to state, that cannot be double spent without relying on a third party to oversee the transactions and check that that double spend is not taking place? And that was a very difficult problem to solve. People had been working on it for several decades beforehand. So, given that Nakamoto had an immensely difficult time solving double spending with an internet connection, how is the European Central Bank going to solve double spending without an internet connection? And my take on that is that they're not going to be able to. It is incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to create a digital currency that can be secured offline in such a way that double spends are not possible. I certainly think it's going to be beyond the abilities of the staff of the European Central Bank and pretty much every single academic out there too. So why are they making this claim? Well, if the digital euro is going to be as good as cash, then it's going to have to be able to cope with people wanting to transact in a place where there's no cell coverage, or when a phone has broken or something like that. So how are they going to do it? Well, I have one hypothesis, which is that they're going to accept that double spends are going to be possible, and therefore the obvious solution is to limit the amount that you can spend offline. So they'll do the equivalent of creating vouchers on phones, where you can, like a scratch card kind of thing, that you can transfer to another phone, and limit those to small sums, say 5, 10, 20 euros, maybe 100 tops. And we're already seeing restrictions being imposed in the EU on how much can be legally spent in cash. I think in France it's limited to 1,000 euros or something like that. So part of that restriction may well be put in place not just to avoid money laundering and to handle KYC, but it may actually be to set the stage for the digital euro to be as good as physical cash. It's just a hypothesis on my part here. The other approach you can take for avoiding double spending is to use digital rights management. So this is the industry where, for example, the music industry, they try to avoid people being able to share MP3s with each other by imposing digital rights management software on the user, having players that will only play the music if you're satisfying the conditions of that software. In fact, a better example is the DVD player, where you have DVDs that are region linked. So if you buy a DVD player in the United States and you buy a DVD in Japan, if the DVD player has observed the region digital rights management requirements, then that Japanese DVD will not play on an American DVD player. The fact is, though, that most of the DVD players out there now don't implement that because customers just don't like it. So that's the second approach, use digital rights management, except that has historically come with all kinds of problems too. It looks great in theory. In practice, it causes difficulties for the users of the system. It has an overhead, and ultimately hackers manage to break it anyway. So there's a video on the digital euro and offline payments. I hope it gives you some further insights into the digital euro, and I hope that I never get to see the digital euro but still live to a ripe old age. That's it for today's video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one soon. Bye for now.